Hi, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay. I had to move locations, having some problems with the internet. I think we all are. For a moment, I want to unmute you all to hear if someone's just joining us today and what you thought from yesterday. So I'm trying to unmute you. If you can unmute yourself for a moment. Try to unmute. I would like to hear everyone. Okay, so
Hello.
I'll give you a moment to unmute yourself. Hi. Great.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Hallie, and this is the first day that I could join you. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Hallie. Thank you. Anyone else? It's your first day joining?
I'm Ariella, and it's also my first day joining you here today.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here and sharing the time, everyone. Since we have a few new people today, we'll do a little bit of review for today. But before we do that, any questions that I can take or answer? If you have questions, you don't want to put you on the spot, you can think about it. And in your little sidebar, there's a chat. So you can always type a question to me and we can answer it later. Or if you have something on your mind now you want to ask, you can feel free to ask. No, okay. Baba. So my name is Molly, for those of you just joining us today. I'm originally from the US, I'm from Georgia. I came to Israel with Masa to volunteer in 2016. And I was in the Bedouin community for about a year, and I decided to stay and make Aliyah. I've been teaching yoga since 2015. I started in the US in Georgia, where I came from. And then after I moved to Israel, I decided, okay, this is what I want to do. Slowly, I'm working on it. It's amazing. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do something and share it with people. It's one thing I always try to say to people, as my yoga teachers have said to me, find the one thing, or maybe many things you love, but find what you love, find what you're passionate about, and try to bring that into your daily life and to share it with people. Okay, so to recap a little bit from what day is it today? Today's Tuesday. I'm sure you're all also a bit confused with the timeline, since now we're all at home and it's just like this one big weekend, sort of, if you're working, if you're not working. So Monday we talked about the history of yoga. Sorry, I'm a bit congested this morning. The history of yoga, in a very short summary. Yoga has a very rich heritage dating back a few thousand years to the area of India. There are texts that we have that are describing in more or less yogic techniques, which at that point were much more breathing or meditative techniques, but there are written records of these processes dating back thousands of years, which is pretty amazing. And these texts have come, much like in Judaism or any other culture, an ancient text has survived and carried to the present moment. And the modern practice of yoga is modern, dating from about 100 years. Most modern practices of the yoga that you may hear about today or you will find in your neighborhood, this yoga is coming from a practice that started around 100, 120 years ago. And that practice, this modern yoga practice, is coming from these ancient texts. So there were a few, yes, a few teachers in India. There are many. I don't want to give you too much specific information, but in that time, around 100 years ago, they realized that yoga is something that can help people, not just in their area and in a village or in the area of India. And slowly, there were people, students of teachers who started schools in India of modern yoga, and then some of them came over to the West and brought yoga to the West. And that started in the 1900s, like 1930s, 40s, and continued through the rest of the 20th century. So it's very new. The modern practice of yoga, as we know it, is quite new. Okay, so yesterday we talked about elements of movement. One of the biggest things that we want to keep in mind in any yoga practice, moving with awareness. In general, in the world of yoga, what we're trying to do is to connect, to be aware, to be present in the current moment, whatever it is we're doing, to be aware, to be fully in that moment. Whatever, walking your dog, doing the dishes, talking to your friend, all of that can be yoga. If you're coming to it from a place of awareness and attention, you're not letting your mind think about, oh, I need to make dinner, I need to do this, I need to do that. And when we do that, then we're not there. I'm sure all of you, it happens maybe many times a day or whatever, but you're with someone or you're doing a task and you find that you're not really there 100%. Your mind is taking you to another place. Maybe you realize it, maybe you don't, but it happens to all of us. And we have these techniques and processes in the world of yoga, with breathing, with controlling our body and our movement, and we're slowly starting to change these habits of the mind. Like I said a moment ago, to be aware. So once we can start to be aware that our mind is doing this, it's the first step to fixing or trying to fix the issue. Like anything, you realize you have an issue and whatever, you play piano and finally you realize, oh, I'm doing it this way. Okay, I need to do it this way. And slowly you learn and change your habits. But we all also know it takes time to change habits. It takes about 3 weeks to change, actually to make a significant change in a habit. It's a long time. It's much faster to break or to create a habit, to get something imprinted in your memory, than it is to break a habit. So if you are actively trying to make a change, give it time. Give it time. So we have some basic principles of moving with awareness that we talked about yesterday. We have proper relaxation. Today we're going to talk about relaxation more in depth, and we'll experience it a bit later in the end of the class. Proper relaxation, meaning you're releasing tension in the muscles, you're resetting your entire system, and you should feel very refreshed after a good sleep. Many times actually no, I will talk about that later. Relaxation. Second, proper exercise. In this context, we're taking exercise to mean a yoga posture or a movement. We call this asana. The Sanskrit name for posture is asana. It means a seat, like you're sitting. Again, back in the more ancient times, the yoga postures were more for meditation. There is not really much ancient documentation of all of the yoga postures we have today. These are things that were either passed down from teacher to student and passed down orally, so there's not as much records, and more, like I said, of our modern practice of yoga has developed in the modern time from students who've taken the teachings of their teachers and produced something now that we can see and have unlike thousands of years ago. So these yoga postures, the asanas that we're learning and applying to ourselves, are working to tone the muscles, stretch the muscles and ligaments, lubricate the spine, and in your joints, improve circulation of the blood and of the entire system. On Monday or Sunday, I also talked about the benefits, the health benefits of yoga, and they are pretty much endless. Anything, everything you can think of in the body, there's a benefit from yoga. Improving flexibility, stability, agility, strength, calmness, supporting bone health, it's endless. And now there's a bit more scientific research. If you're a person who connects more with science and numbers, there are many studies proving or showing the effects of yoga on a population over a period of time for a specific problem. The only time that it could be harmful to you, like we said yesterday when we start to talk about the elements of movement, is if you're experiencing pain. So another big thing in the world of yoga, that we're not to be in pain. If you're already coming with pain, the idea, we're trying to either manage the pain, work around it, or reduce the pain. And if you're doing something, posture and asana, and it's making you feel terrible, it's giving you pain, or you're hurting yourself, this is not okay. We very much want to be gentle, to be kind to our body, and to respect, to listen, to learn to listen to our body, and like I said, develop an awareness. And in this world, in yoga, we do not encourage or promote pain. In other physical activities, maybe you were told, push through it, fight through it, no pain, no gain, something like that. And that's something else. It's not to say, like, if it's difficult and you're feeling your muscles burning, that's something different. That's good. We want to feel our body working. We want to feel the potential of our body. But if we're coming to a point where we feel pain, serious pain in our joints, deep body, no. And it will take you time to learn how to understand good pain from bad pain. And next we have proper breathing. So tomorrow we'll spend more time talking about breathing. But we have techniques of yogic breathing to breathe more fully and rhythmically in order to use more of our lungs. And we're also able to influence our mental state. I said yesterday that if you take a moment to think about times that you've been really scared, afraid, upset, angry, anytime you experience a very intense emotion, you may or may not notice a change in your breathing, but I think you can think to a time you were crying hysterically, or you're laughing so hard you start to cry. At some point, you find that you can't breathe. And the same with anger. Usually, we're feeling anger and heat in the chest and the throat, and it's kind of in a way like suffocating you. And we're not always aware of these things. But once we can start to cultivate this awareness, we can change. We can start to change these responses and reactions that we are conditioned to have. And the fourth element of proper movement, or of elements of yoga, proper diet. So we said yesterday, talking about proper diet, you want to be aware of what you're putting in your body. Your body is your vehicle, it's your car, it's your method of transportation. Your body is everything. Without your body, you, well, to an extent, you are nothing. Whether or not you believe in reincarnation or whatever happens with the soul, can be a different discussion in yoga entirely. But we need to take care of our body. We have one body, and we want to respect it, to treat it well. Your body is your temple, your sacred space. And it's a machine. It's also a machine. It needs to be taken in for repair sometimes. So what we're putting into our body matters. What you're eating matters. Maybe based on your age, you may or may not feel the effects of what you're putting in your body when you're younger. It's easier to eat junk food, things that aren't so good, or to drink a lot of alcohol, eat a lot of sugar. And then as we're getting older, approaching the 30s, we're starting to feel the effects of what we've eaten until that point. So what we want to be eating on a yogic diet, we want to be eating more whole foods, natural foods, whole grains, fruits and vegetables. If you're eating meat or dairy, trying to eat like a good quality of animal products. In general, yeah. Again, my goal for this course was to kind of give you a very broad introduction, but with everything that we're talking about, you can go miles deep. So I'm trying not to give you too much information, but maybe you will find something interesting from this and learn more about it on your own, or you can always ask me questions, and I can talk more in depth about something that I brought up. But about the eating meat and dairy, maybe some of you have heard different things, like, oh, people who are doing yoga, you must be vegetarian or vegan. It is recommended, if you like vegetarian diet in general, one that is moderately consuming animal products or more dairy and fish. Like I said, we can have a whole class on eating meat and animal products, but I don't want to go too deeply there. But to digest meat, your body needs an average of 5 to 6 hours to digest meat. That's a very long time. So if you're eating meat regularly, you can think to yourself, how do you feel after you're eating whatever meal it is you're eating meat? Most likely, you will be feeling heavy and tired, because the body needs to use a lot of energy to process and digest this meat. I didn't say it yet at all until now, but when you're coming to practice yoga, it's best to practice on an empty stomach. So on Sunday, I think we said the best times to practice, or the advised times to take yoga, is the morning or the evening around sunrise and sunset. Also in the morning, you haven't eaten yet, the body is supposed to be empty or eliminating the waste from the day before, and you're lighter, and so it's easier to move the body when you're not filled with food. So if you're not practicing during those hours, it's best to avoid eating about 3 hours, at least 3 hours before you're practicing yoga. So if you're eating meat like every meal of the day, that's going to make it much harder for you to find a time where your stomach is not in a process of digestion. Every time that you're starting to eat again, your body starts over to digest. So these are processes that are happening. We don't think about it. The body does it automatically, but we can help it. We can give it nourishing foods, things that are easier to digest. If we know, okay, we want to do yoga and this time of the day, okay, maybe I will eat a bit lighter meal so I can digest more quickly. Something to consider. Yeah, I think maybe on Thursday we can talk a little bit more about like the ethics of yoga, and I will stop there with the diet. Okay, the last one, positive thinking and meditation. So positive thinking and meditation, we're working to remove negative thoughts, negative mind patterns, to promote our happiness and to reduce suffering. Many times our mind, we're not even aware of what's happening in the mind, but we have ways of thinking, patterns of thinking that have been conditioned into us our entire life. And it takes a lot of awareness, a lot of time to start to realize these things and to make a change. But again, like I said a few minutes ago, just becoming aware that that pattern or that habit exists. This is amazing. This is amazing work, and this is where you want to begin to begin there. To say, okay, I know I have this, and every time, hey, I can give you an example from my own life. Maybe it will make it easier to relate. In my very close relationship, say with my family or my husband, if I'm receiving like constructive criticism, many times I'm not reacting in the best way. Sometimes I'm just reacting like immediately from a place of maybe insecurity or something like this, and I don't know if lashing out is quite the right word, but basically I'm having a reaction that's not positive. And I have this habit, and I know I have this habit, and it keeps happening and happening and happening. But I'm aware of it. I know it exists, and I know it will take me a lot of time to fix it. And that's where I am. So all of us have many, many things of this nature, and becoming aware of it will help you. Even if you feel like it's not helping you yet, it will help you get there in time to make a change. We said, I think both days, one of the goals of yoga is that we're making a change. We're affecting a change. We're taking these tools to move from point A to point B. So again, it doesn't matter like a posture, an asana, it doesn't matter breathing. The bigger picture of yoga, that you're making a positive change. You're moving from point A to point B, moving from something that you to something possible. So in this way that you can bring yoga into everyday life and in your work, in your personal relationship, your family, everything. A lot of time to get there, and the process where we start is by manipulating the physical body, by manipulating our breath, learning to move and to change what we can see and feel in our body, our physical body. We start here, and slowly these changes of the physical body and the mental state move into affecting our daily life. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about relaxation, rest and relaxation, and then I want us to do a bit of movement. What we did yesterday, more or less what we did yesterday, and then to add in the final part of relaxation at the end. Okay, so if any of you have been in a yoga class, or if you haven't, at the end of a physical yoga class, you have a period of rest, and this is called Shavasana. The name is Sanskrit. It means corpse posture, corpse like a dead body. You might think, what, like we're supposed to be like a dead body? Gross. No. The idea here, to be completely still, lying still at the end of a class, we want to release and let go. So the idea that something from the point you started to the point that you stopped, something has released. You've let go of something you don't need. Something has died in you that you don't need anymore. Sometimes we think of death not in a good way, but death is a very normal part of life. It has its place just like birth has. It's just a completion of a cycle. Think of it like a circle. So for something to birth, for something to come into life, something needs to die. In your personal life and your being, for you to reach your potential, for you to progress in wherever you are, we need to let go of things. We need to move on. We need to release things that we don't need. And so we have this beautiful time of rest at the end of a yoga class. And for many people, it's very difficult to lie on your back without moving for 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes in silence. It's super challenging for people because if you're not comfortable with that, your mind takes over and you have all of the thoughts coming back into the mind that may or may not drive you crazy. And so we're trying to work on learning how to quiet the mind and to connect more with our deeper self, with our physical body, with our emotional body, to share with you from the Bhagavad Gita. It's a text I talked about on Sunday. This is an epic poem. Sort of, you can say, similar to the Odyssey or the Iliad, if you're familiar with Greek poetry. I studied classics in college, so I'm a bit of a nerd there. But in a short summary, the Bhagavad Gita is a poem where a reincarnation of God, Krishna, appears to a warrior named Arjuna. He's like an everyday person, and he needs to go into battle against his family. And he's very upset about it. He's very conflicted about what to do. And he sits down in the middle of the battlefield in basically protest. And Krishna appears to him as a friend and gives him advice on what to do. And one of the biggest thing that the Bhagavad Gita is teaching that we can learn from today is to take responsibility, whatever your role in life is, whatever responsibility you have, be active, take your responsibility. If you have a family, be the family woman, be the family man. You have job or whatever, do your job. It doesn't mean being on the path of yoga. It doesn't mean you need to go into a cave and be a renunciate and let go of all your material possessions. And there are people who do that, of course, but it's very extreme, and most of us are living in society, so we need to learn how to live in society, and this is what the Gita is telling us. So this quote says, "The soul that moves in the world of the senses and yet keeps the senses in harmony finds rest in quietness." One more time. The soul that moves in the world of the senses and keeps the senses in harmony finds rest in quietness. So what does that mean? That means that we want to keep our senses balanced. We want to be in a place of equilibrium, of harmony in the body. All the time, your body is trying to return to a level of equilibrium, of homeostasis. Your temperature, when you take your temperature, if you're feeling well, it's always at that same number, and your body is working 24/7 to keep your temperature in that medium level. And not just your temperature, everything else, all of your organ function, all of your system function, your body is trying to come back to that place of harmony. This is on the physical level. So on the emotional, our senses, our hearing, our sight, our smell, our emotions. When we're feeling either an extreme, either a lack of or too much of, we're imbalanced. And so we're looking again for this sweet spot to not, if we're in a situation where we have the opportunity to react, whatever it is, we want to be in this place where, okay, you can take a breath, you can step back and choose like how to respond, not to be overwhelmed by your senses, overwhelmed by your emotion, that you're just reacting without a thought in the world. And like I said before, sometimes I have this problem, and I'm still reacting from maybe from this place of being overwhelmed by something, and I'm reacting. So we're all human. None of us are perfect, but this is the beauty of being human, that we have these flaws, we have these imperfections, and all of us have them. And none of us is unique in that aspect. We all have them. We're all working on it. Okay, moving on. Rest and balance. We talked a little bit the other day that also I said that all yoga is coming from what we call hatha yoga. The modern yoga is coming from hatha yoga. Hatha, there are two meanings for it. It can mean sun, moon. Hath is sun, tha is moon, and the other is force or forceful. It's a loose translation, but not in a way of being in pain. So in general, hatha yoga, which is basically all modern yoga, is looking to balance the body. What does that mean? You can divide the body roughly into 2 or 3 parts: the right side, the left side, and the center. The right side is the masculine side, the yang side, the more active, energetic, connecting to the sun. Side is our feminine, the more passive side, yin. And together, they're meeting in the center of the body. You can say around the spine. So we're working to bring both of these energies together, either to balance them out. So you can think we have things that we're doing on the right side of the body, the left side of the body. If you're very dominant, you're always doing things on the right or always on the left. Maybe you notice I'm weaker on the right side, I'm weaker on the left side, something like this. Or I experience more tightness on this side, more tightness on this side. These are small indicators of slight imbalances in your physical body that you can reset. Okay, so to talk about relaxation and the importance of relaxation, I really can't talk about it enough. I think you can all recall nights or times of your life where it was maybe impossible to sleep. You had insomnia or a nightmare or something that is preventing you from relaxation, or you wake up in the morning and you feel like you haven't slept. Sometimes we're dreaming too much. The mind is just too active, and even though our eyes are closed and we're lying in bed with the covers, we actually are not relaxing at all. And so the body doesn't go through that state that he needs to heal and to reset for you to be productive the next day. And this is primarily due to the pace of our Western life, especially now in our digital age. You know, you're getting messages, emails every hour of the day. If you don't choose to mute your phone, you know, you're getting ping, ping, ping at 11, 12 o'clock at night. And like, why do you need to be getting bothered at that hour of the night? You should, one, be asleep or spending time with your family. And but we're in the West, where we're always punching the clock, you can say. It's a bit harsh to say, but it's true. We're very we're working a lot, and we think more is better, and in reality, less is better. Of course, we all need to pay our rent and make money and take care of our families, but we can do it in balance. And when we're home with our family, actually be home with our family, not to all the time be checking the phone, sending emails that could really wait a few hours, something like that. Relaxation, proper relaxation is a medicine for your body that you have available to you 24/7. We just need to learn how to access it. And the state of our mind and our body is very closely linked, as some of you may know. If your muscles are relaxed, your mind is more likely relaxed. If your mind is anxious and you're stressed, the body suffers. Maybe some of you have chronic pain or tension that you're always feeling. A lot of times we're carrying stress and tension in the shoulders, the neck, the upper back. If you're sitting many hours in a workplace, you may feel the lower back. These are the most common areas of pain. And think like the shoulders, it's like carrying all of the weight you're carrying, it's on the shoulders for some people. And we don't always realize this area is tight and contracted. And if we don't address it, it will continue to move down into the spine and the rest of the body. All action that we take, all action that we have begins and originates in the mind. When the mind receives a notification or a stimulus that tells it, okay, I need to do something, it sends a message to the nerves to contract the muscles, like in a fight or flight response. And again, we're talking about living in the modern world, and we're pretty much operating, many of us are operating in a state of chronic stress, and we don't realize it. We're operating in a fight or flight response, if some of you heard of it. Um, our ancestors had the same thing when they're living in a hunting and gathering or living in a forest or a village, and okay, a bear comes up and is about to attack you. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of nerves reacting to tell your muscles to fight or flight. But most of us don't have bears coming after us, not like real bears. We have other bears. We have our bosses. We have other responsibility. And these things are keeping us in a state of chronic stress. We don't have to release that stress. We need to release it. If we're not, like, for example, the bear, okay, the real bear is coming to attack you, and you have this buildup of a reaction of stress. If that person doesn't do anything, if he doesn't fight or run away, he can easily be overcome by the stress and either be paralyzed or it's just building up in him over time. And so as modern people, the bear is on us, our boss or responsibility or whatever, but we can't run away. So what happens to the release of this energy doesn't get released. It builds up in your system. The buildup, this is called cortisol, when your body is accumulating stress, and in many people it leads to weight gain, that people have very hard time to lose this weight because their body is not relaxed. They're holding on to too much. And that person needs to learn very slowly how to release their energy, how to let go of the stress. Can think that it's like they've put on too much clothes, and it's like the clothes are glued on them. They can't take it off. And many people, even while they're asleep, they're feeling this way. And so, like we said before, the stress is showing up in your body. It may be in another place. It can go in many places in the body, and if it's not taken care of, it will lead to problems as you're getting older. It's also depleting your energy, making you feel tired, and you're doing much more work for your body than you need to do, although you may not know it. 3 parts of proper relaxation: physical, mental, and spiritual. Excuse me. A technique that we will do soon today has you lying on the back. Traditionally, this period of rest, Shavasana, is done on the back. If you're having pain or an issue, you can lie on the side or lie on your stomach. And to squeeze or tense each area of the body, to squeeze it really tightly, and then release it all in one go. And this method, for many people, to squeeze and to hold and to tense the body and then release it, helps them understand how does it feel to release or to relax. And then your body slowly understands how to do that when you get into bed or when you have an opportunity to take a nap or rest or something. We also have an element of breathing here, of slow and steady breathing. We'll talk again more about the breath tomorrow. A little bit more difficult to achieve, maybe for many of us, is the spiritual piece. Maybe mentally and physically, we're thinking that we're relaxing, but until we achieve spiritual peace, it's not a complete relaxation. So what does that mean? What is spiritual peace? As long as you're identifying with your body and your mind, for example, I am my body, I am what I look like, I am an architect, I am whatever. It's like your whole identity is defined by a noun, whatever it is you're doing, your role in life. The attachment to that holds us down. It's just all of these things, they're just something that we're doing. They're not actually defining us. We may love it and be super passionate about it, and it helps us wake up every morning, but it's not actually us, our true, deeper self, our soul, our consciousness, the piece of us that okay, we won't go too deep there, but we have an attachment. We have many attachments onto things that don't really matter. and these things are producing fear and worry for us, anger and sorrow. Maybe you're very, look, all of these things I'm saying, I'm not judging you at all. So please don't try not to take it like to a place of judgment. It's just information to consider and think about. But I can give you an example from my life that maybe will connect with you. Okay, so most of us have mirrors in our house, in the bathroom. You go brush your teeth, you brush your hair, whatever it is, you're looking in the mirror. The reflection that we see in the mirror is us and it is not us. The way that we see our reality is not the way that it really is. The way that someone sees you, the way that your friend or your mother sees you is not the way that you see yourself. We're always our harshest judges and critics. That freckles or dark spots on your face that you see every single day and you wish you could change, or you see your nose being too big, whatever it is, other people don't see that. Only you are seeing these things that come out to you in the mirror. But the mirror is a reflection, and it's not always an accurate reflection. You can think if the mirror has dirt all over it, when you're looking in the mirror, it will look like your face is also covered in dirt, but it's not. It's an incorrect reflection. So let me give you the example from my life that maybe will help you. I was camping for about a month in the fall in Portugal, and we were sleeping outside all the time. So pretty much just bathrooms in nature, and bathrooms in nature have no mirrors. So it was very interesting for me to have a whole month where I didn't have a mirror. In general, I don't like mirrors. I don't like looking in my reflection in the mirror. But I also thought of it as like the jewelry that I'm wearing or how I want to fix my hair. It's always like I'm looking in the mirror to do that. But if I don't have a mirror, I don't always have this like want or desire to change my hairstyle or change my jewelry or something. It's like something that I'm seeing in myself. I'm like a little bit attached to this, my appearance. In the short words, I'm attached in some ways to my appearance, how I'm looking even to myself. I just like to look this way for myself. Maybe other people, I don't know. But you can get the idea, like without the mirror, that whole thing was just absent from me. And that month that I spent camping outside, I really did feel a sense of something completely different, a more sense of freedom and an inner peace that on a day-to-day here in where I'm living now, or with the computer, everything, modern life, it's a different feeling. So it was very interesting for me to think about that and to think, okay, why do I feel the need to to change my jewelry or to put this here, and okay, why is my hair like this and not like this, whatever. It's very interesting. You can think about it also, like how are you feeling when you're putting on certain clothes. We had a phrase where I came from, dress for success. I remember on days when I had to take exams in school, I would try and like dress better and make myself look like really nice, and I don't know, it felt like more confidence or something. But anyway, it's just to think about these things is very interesting. So we can try to release these attachments to free up our ability to relax, to let go of things that really don't matter in the big picture. As you're relaxing, which we will get to in a few moments, I will guide you through a relaxation session. You will hopefully experience a sense of melting, of lightness, of expansion and warmth, of a release, of letting go of the muscles. In some people, it almost feels like a natural high. It takes usually at least about 5 minutes for the body to transition into a state of relaxation. not so much relaxation, a state, a single state of being, as a process, a series of you can say of excavating, of going deep, of deepening your connection to your inner self. Again, like we said, it's about letting go instead of holding on, of not doing, of not being, rather than doing. So we're just simply existing. We're trying simply to exist, not to do anything. And for many people, it's extremely, extremely challenging. And so this ability, this process to relax, we start to change physiologically. We're consuming less oxygen and less carbon dioxide is emitted. And our body starts to transition to the rest and reset parasympathetic system. Rest and reset, which is what we need in order to heal and be productive for the next day. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think now I want to guide you through a relaxation. So if you can take a few minutes to find a comfortable way to lie on your back. Find a towel, or if you have a yoga mattress at home, something you can lie on. If your floor is cold, like I said, put something so you're not just lying on a cold surface, or go take your computer to your bedroom. You can lie in the bed or a sofa. Take 1 or 2 minutes and find a space where you can lie completely flat on the back, and we will move through a guided relaxation together. Hopefully it won't be a problem for anyone, but make sure you're warm enough. Let's see, I can show you like what it's supposed to look like, and then you can try and mimic. Okay. So more or less something like this. You have the feet are open, and the hands are also open facing up. If you are in pain lying on the back, the other option, you could bring the knees together and have the feet going to the outside of the back to move your lower back closer to the floor. But if possible, try to lie flat on the back, almost like a starfish. Okay, I'm going to assume that everybody has found a position to lie on the back. Close the eyes, start to close the eyes. And for the next few minutes, we'll guide you through a process of Shavasana, of relaxation. Okay. Press the back of the head into the mattress. You can smooth out the space below the shoulders. Keep the eyes closed softly. You can rotate the legs inward and outward a few times, just slightly turning the legs inward and outward, rotating inward and outward, and then gently release them. Let the legs release onto the floor, wherever you're lying. And then do the same thing with the arms. Just gently rotating the arms inward and outward, just like we did with the legs. And rotate the head side to side. Let the head gently fall side to side, gentle rotation of the neck. Bring the head back to the center. Now we'll continue moving from the feet. Try to stretch, try to lengthen the legs and the arms like someone is gently pulling you and lengthening the body. Allow gravity to fall on you, embrace the sense of heaviness. You can take a few deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, gently breathing deeply. You can let out a sigh. Allow gravity to be heavy. Allow the whole body to be heavy. Feel the support that you have underneath you and allow the body to release. Breathe deeply and slowly from the belly, letting the air move up into the lungs and back down. Allow the body to deepen and relax with every exhalation. Every exhale, you're sinking a little bit deeper into relaxation. The heart rate is slowly dropping. You can place the hands on the belly to check if you're breathing correctly. Place the hands on the belly and bring the fingers, interlock the fingers together. And as you inhale, the belly should rise up and separate the hands a little bit. So you can think of the belly like a balloon. As you inhale, the belly is lifting and rising gently with the breath, and exhale, going down. You can release the hands if you feel you're breathing correctly. Return the hands to openness on the sides of the body. And now bring the attention onto the feet. The right foot, you want to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze the right foot. You can lift the foot off the floor a little bit. Hold the right foot, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, and then release it. Let the right foot drop down to the floor. Take the left foot, gently lift the left foot up from the floor. Squeeze the left foot, squeeze a little bit. And exhale, release the left foot down to the floor. The same thing with the upper legs and the area of the butt. You can squeeze both. Squeeze the area of the thighs and the butt. Squeeze, 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 and release, let go. If you want to do it one more time, squeeze the area of the hips, the butt, the thigh, and release, let it go. Moving on to the hands and the arms, you can lift the right hand. Make a fist with the right hand, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, and release, let go. Take the left hand, squeeze, squeeze, make a fist, lift the left hand up from the floor, squeeze it, and release, exhale, let go. Moving to the chest, you can try and maybe push your shoulders a little into the floor, squeeze the muscles of the chest, of the upper body, and exhale, release. One more time for the chest, squeeze, try to squeeze whatever is possible, contract the chest, and exhale, release. The shoulders, you can lift the shoulders up toward the ears from the back, squeeze the shoulders up toward the ears, and release, let go. One more time, squeeze the shoulders up toward the ears. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale, let go. And now for the face. Close and squeeze the eyes really tightly. Squeeze the lips, squeeze the cheeks. Really squeeze everything super tightly and release it. Exhale. One more time for the face. Squeeze the eyes, shut the eyes very tightly. Squeeze the mouth, squeeze everything in the face. And release. Exhale, let it go. You can say now, gently thinking to yourself, relax, relax the feet, relax the ankles, relax the legs, relax the knee, relax the hip and the thigh, relax the lower back, relax the belly, relax the middle back, the ribs, relax the chest, the upper back, relax the shoulders and the arm, relax the hand, relax the throat, relax the back of the neck, relax the eyes, the cheek, all the muscles around the mouth, and very slowly start to wiggle the fingers and toes, squeeze the hands and feet. More gently bringing ourselves awake out of the relaxation, out of Shavasana. Doesn't need to be a big squeeze, just a little bit to bring sensation back into the body. Stretch the arms overhead, reach up, inhale, open the body like you're waking up in the morning, reach overhead. Hug the knees into the chest like a ball. Hug your knees into the chest like a ball. And let the body roll over to the right side, like you're in the fetal position. Place the head on the arm like a pillow. The right arm is reaching toward the front, and the head is resting on the arm. And then very slowly from your side, use your hands to help lift you back up to a gentle sitting position. If you're ready, you're welcome to stay there longer if you wish. And I'm going to unmute you now for questions if you have them. It's the end of today's session. I hope it was helpful and nice for you if you managed to relax a little bit or not. Let's see. So if you have questions from today or another day, you can ask now or write in the chat if you can't unmute yourself.
Thanks for today's session.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I had a little bit of soreness from yesterday, but I even know why after one of the movements in my neck, but it's okay. It's good soreness. It's nice soreness. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And now it's good to relax after that soreness.
Sorry, what did you say? It's good to know what?
And then this is great to relax with this soreness. And I didn't know about this squeeze and release technique. I know only about breathing. It's something new for me, so it's very interesting.
Wonderful. Great. I'm very happy that it's helped.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah. Hello, are you there?
Yes. Thank you so much, Molly. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Noah.
I'm having trouble keeping the world outside for long enough to do this and practice most of the time. And I really appreciate when I am able to do this. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Absolutely.
Do you have any tips on how to, even in the middle of this, I had 2 calls.
In the middle of in the session you had phone calls?
Not like the entire session, only the relaxation part right now. I had a few phone calls. So do you have any tips of how you're really
Yes.
letting the world stay outside?
Yes. I recommend when you're trying to take time for yourself, put your phone on airplane mode. If you don't absolutely need to receive a phone call or talk to someone, put your phone on airplane mode or what is it called? Do not disturb.
Yeah.
Set a time for yourself. Like for example, after 10 o'clock at night or even 9:30, I'm not responding to messages. It's late at night. And it helps to give a separation. And then during the day, if I'm saying, okay, I'm going to practice yoga from whatever time to whatever time, I either leave my phone out of the room or I turn it on airplane mode. And if I miss a call, okay, I miss a call. If it's not important, someone will call me back. So try to prioritize yourself a little bit. We can be a little bit selfish when it comes to keeping our own peace. It's actually, it says in some of the book I talked about earlier, the Bhagavad Gita, to maintain your own peace, your level of peace. Like it's okay to be a little bit selfish there, to take care of yourself. So I can recommend this to you. And when you're in those activities, like if you're taking time for yourself, really try to be present with that. I know it's super hard, but try not to let your mind go to think about who do I need to talk to next hour. I missed a call from someone. There are visualization techniques, but one thing that's nice, you can imagine that you're putting all of those things into a box, closing the box, putting the box in the corner, and it will be there when you're finished. You will get the box with all of your things back when you're finished. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anything else? No, that's it.
Thank you, Molly. I really enjoyed your class. And I have a question. What would you recommend for shoulders, which I usually feel uncomfortable, especially when I'm working for a long time? And what would you recommend? Maybe special position or, I don't know, support for shoulders? What can I do to feel better?
Are you, do you work in a desk?
I can usually yes, but now because of this epidemic, we work from home, so I can sit whatever I want. I just, can find a comfortable position. So I'm interested in the variants which I can use and try.
Yes. I think, do you see the handouts? There are two handouts that were attached to yesterday and today's lecture. There's a PDF called Move Before You Meditate. Can you see it? There's a section on.
No, I don't see them.
Okay. Maybe it will be easier for me if I can email you. Can you give me your email?
Mm-hmm. I should maybe I'll write it into the chat.
Yeah, you can send it to the chat. That's great. And then I can send you through email things to help you with the shoulders.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Olga.
Olga, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also thank you for your speech about mirror. It was so inspiring.
You're very welcome. Yes. It's very interesting to think about it, and it really makes you reflect. Like mirror shows you the reflection, but we can take that reflection to a much deeper level. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so let's see. Send me in the chat so I make sure I get it before you disconnect.
I sent it. Did you receive it?
Let me see. I didn't receive anything yet, so I just sent one. Let me try to write to you. Send chat. Okay, here we go. Do you see this? I just wrote you hi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now try to send the email back. Great. Okay. Yes, I got it. Okay, so I will email you. Will you join us tomorrow? Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, I got it, Olga. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for today? Nope. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone.
And